Hello, I'm going to show you the CLIL unit I've built for the AICOLE subject. As I only have 15 minutes, I won't talk about global goal, aims, criteria for assessment, or teaching objectives, as you can find them in the paper. And I'll jump straight to the teaching and learning activities. As you can see here, my unit is organized in 5 lessons. Each one of the lessons consists of several blocks. I'm going to make an overview of all the exercises and activities that we can find in them. So let's begin with lesson 1. First of all, the teacher will make a warm-up. This warm-up will consist of a recap where the teacher will teach the key concepts from the previous class. More than teaching, he will make the students remind them. Let's see how. The teacher will use a short presentation where he is going to ask some questions to the students, and the students will have to answer them in order to fill the empty gaps in the slides. So, if we do this way, we make the students participants of the class. Once the recap is finished, the teacher will show the class what the learning outcomes of the unit will be. And then he will begin with a presentation of the main concepts of the unit: electrical variables, conductors, basic electrical circuits, and components. I'm going to show you some slides of the presentation the teacher will use for this. As he teaches all the contents, he will draw the students' attention to the main words in key language. As we can see, we have very clear terms and very clear definitions in the presentation. Terms and definition. And also we have a lot of realia. This realia makes easier for the students to remember all the key language. Some more we can see here. All of this language will be the first step of the scaffolding structure, because all the terms and all the definitions will be used from now on in every exercise and activity in this unit. Once the introduction is finished, we will start the third block. The third block is composed by a Quizlet online individual activity and a group game activity. So I'll show you the Quizlet platform, and the students will have 10 minutes to come here and practice with the flashcard section all the terms and all the definitions they've seen in the previous presentation. We have here some flashcards with terms and definitions they can practice with. We can see also that the flashcards have realia, so it's easier for the students to remember all the words. After this, they'll have 30 minutes to go and complete the rest of activities. They can do them many times. We have learn activities, write activities, spell, test, match activities, and even a gravity-based game. I'll show you some of them. Here we have the spell activities. They have the definition, and they have to write the term, and they can listen to it.
Electrical power.
So,
amps.
They can write it and see if they are right or wrong right away. Another section is the test section, and here we can have written questions, matching questions, multiple choice questions, and true-false questions. Once they have finished these activities, they will engage in an online live game. I'll show you how this works. The students will group in teams. Each member of the team will have a computer, and they will have to go to this link and enter this code. Once they have done that, they will be given some definitions and some terms, and they have to match one of the terms they have with the definition they have been given. The tricky thing about this is that each member of the team will have different terms, so they have to work as a team to answer the right question. Let's go back to the lesson, and this will be the end of lesson 1. So let's go to lesson 2. Lesson 2 will begin with a written vocabulary exercise. This exercise will summarize all the keywords and definitions that the students have been working with in the previous activities. This is what we call the language of learning. Also, this exercise will act as a summative assessment for the first lesson. It's a match exercise, and we have here all the terms and all the definitions. So, once this is finished, the students can complete another written vocabulary exercise, this time about conductors and insulators. So they have a list of materials and they have to classify them. Also, they are given 2 links, so after they have completed this, they have to add some more materials. They will be practicing language of learning in this part, and after that, they have to answer some questions. So in this part, they will be practicing the language for learning. Okay? In this part, and in the previous lesson, we have been working with low order thinking skills. Now let's go to the next activity. The next activity will be a watching, listening, reading exercise. In this exercise, the students will have to watch 2 videos with English subtitles. In the first one of them, they will find a summary of the main concepts they have learned in the previous activities and lesson. Also, they'll have an introduction to a new concept, AC and DC currents. These new concepts will be developed in the second video, so they will watch a brief intro to voltage, current and power, first video, and then difference between AC and DC current, the second video. After the second video, they'll have to answer some questions about the new concepts they have seen in the video. This will be the end of lesson 2, and let's start with lesson 3. Lesson 3 will start with another watching, listening, and reading exercise. The students will watch a video with English subtitles, a video about the difference in electricity systems and sockets between different countries. In this video, we will work with the culture competencies. After watching the video, they'll have to engage in a debate based on these questions. Once this debate is finished, they'll have to complete a reading exercise that will make them learn how to use the Ohm's law. After reading it, they can read it some more times if they need it. They'll have to write down the key ideas. These key ideas will serve them to prepare a 5-minute short presentation. They'll have to do this as a teamwork that they will give the next day. Each of the team members will have to talk for a minute. So the next day, we are now in lesson 4, the students will give their presentations in front of the rest of the class. In these presentations, all the students will be able to ask questions at the end of the presentation, and the teacher will give them some feedback. Once this is finished, they'll engage in a block where they'll have to make some exercises about Ohm's law. In these exercises, they'll be using high-order thinking skills. First, they'll have to calculate some missing electrical variables, and after that, they'll have to fill in the gaps in these sentences. Not just making some calculations, but also practicing the language for learning. Once these exercises are finished, they'll group in pairs and they'll evaluate their working partners' exercises using this online circuit simulator. For the exercises based on language for learning, the teacher will give them an answer sheet so they can fill this peer assessment rubric. Finally, in lesson 5, the teacher will begin showing the students how to use an online electrical circuits simulator, and after that, the students will complete some other exercises about Ohm's law. In these exercises, they can make use of the circuit simulator, and they will be using language for learning. The first one is a written exercise, and the second activity is a block with 12 exercises. This will be made online. So this has been the overview of my CLIL unit, and I hope you like it. Thank you very much.